Hi everyone! Today I have a card using a stencil and some embossing paste. So I have this Tim Holtz stencil, it's called Dot Fade, and I just have a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to place that over my cardstock. I'm going to put a little adhesive on the back of it just so that it doesn't move while I'm inking it. And then I'm going to put some washi tape down to adhere the sides of the mask down. I'm going to be using the Dusty Concord Distress ink, and I'm just going to apply that to where my mask is. It's going to be more towards the center, is going to be darker, and then kind of fade out lighter. I just do this in a circular motion, and you kind of have to get the darker, you have to go over it quite a few times, especially because the stencil is smaller. Alright, so then I'm going to go ahead and I just take a baby wipe and I'm going to wipe over my mask. And this is because I'm going to use the embossing paste and I don't want it to turn purple, especially if I have extra. So then I'm going to carefully pick up my mask and I'm just going to move it a tiny bit. And it doesn't matter which direction, you just want it to be a little bit different from the inked part. And then I'm going to apply the embossing paste. This is the Wendy Vecchi white embossing paste. And you don't need very much at all. I just used a little bit, and then you want to scrape off all the extra back into the jar. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove my mask. And then you'll be able to see by moving it a little bit, you can see the purple still and then the embossing paste. So I went ahead and set that aside to let it dry. And then I got out the Furry Cat and Box stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. And I'm going to stamp this on a piece of the Coordinations 110-pound cardstock with Tuxedo Black Memento ink because I'm going to be coloring it in with Copic markers. And then I'm also going to stamp the little bow also on the box since this is going to be a birthday card. And then I went ahead and just used my heat tool to heat up the stamped image. That just sets the ink so that I can color in with my Copic sooner and it doesn't bleed. I'm going to start with the E11 Copic marker, and I'm just going to color in the entire box with this color. I'll work in sections though, doing the shading and everything. So next I'm going to take the E13 and just apply that to the areas where it would be shaded on a regular box, just kind of the edges alongside where the top folds down and everything. And then I'll go back with the E11 and blend both of those colors together. And then I'll keep moving on, starting with the E11 and then going back with the E13 on all of the sections of the box. I had to use my 0 a little bit right there since I colored out of the line. If you just get a little bit out of the line, you can take the 0, which is the blending marker, and just kind of push the color back in, and then it's kind of like an eraser, but it actually just pushes the color wherever you want it to go. And then I decided that it needed a little bit darker of a shading, so I'm going to use the E15. Now, I'm by no means a advanced Copic color, but they're fairly simple to use even for beginners. You just need at least two colors that are right next to each other or in the same color family to blend them together. And the markers really do everything themselves. If you just watch a couple videos on them, they're very simple to use. They are pricier, but I have used other markers and these are by far the best that there are. Alright, so then for the cat, I'm going to use the E23 Copic. I'm going to use pretty much all browns on this. And then you can see I'm coloring the edges and I'm not really doing the middle. This is because I'm going to take my C5 Copic and color that in with gray. And you can tell that it looks weird because it's gray and then brown. But as you can see, I took my E23 and I kind of blended that. I just went over the gray and it blends right in with the brown. That's, like I said, how easy they are to use. The markers really do all of the blending for you. And I'm doing the gray because I want it to look like my cat, which is like part Siamese. And I just went back in with a little bit more of the gray, and then you just keep blending them together until it looks the way you like it to look. So for the tail and the ears and the feet, I'm going to use the T7, which is a really dark gray. It's almost black, but it is a little more gray. Alright, and then I'm taking my RV02 just to make a little pink nose. And then I'll go ahead and fussy cut this image out, and I am going to leave a white border around the edge, as you can see. So my background has dried completely, and the embossing paste, it doesn't actually take too long to dry, just like an hour or two. So I'm going to take this sentiment, which is from the Simon Says Stamp Birthday Messages stamp set, and stamp that right below my embossing paste part with some Tuxedo Black Memento ink. I made sure that I left enough room on the bottom. I didn't put any embossing paste down there just so that I could stamp the sentiment. So if that is something you want to do, just be aware of that when you're applying your embossing paste. And then I have this natural twine from May Arts that I'm going to tie around my card front. Before I tie my bow on there, I will attach some foam squares to my cat. These are the Best Creation foam squares. And then I'll just attach that right on. And it actually, those foam squares stick really well to the embossing paste. I didn't think that they would, but it's just like you're sticking it to paper. And then I went ahead and tied the bow right onto there. Just go ahead and trim the ends off. And then I have my A2 sized card base. This is just a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper cut in half the long way. And I'll put some adhesive on there and stick the card front to it. And that is my completed card. Thank you so much for watching today. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so that you can catch all the latest videos. I will link some videos here, the previous video, another video that you might like, and then one that is similar to this using embossing paste. Bye!